14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
A little bit, but we do have some other things to cover, including Westeros.
True. So, all right. So I got some things to cover. Before I give my report from Westeros, I do want to, as anyone who's been listening to the podcast past couple months knows that I've been deep diving the history of ancient Rome, which I finished. And then I went east to the Eastern Roman Empire, Byzantium, which doesn't fall for like a century after Western Rome. And all of this is to say that I found the two best names in the Byzantine Empire. And it happened so early on. I can't believe it. I don't think it's going to get, they're going to get beaten. But there was a guy in the empire who worked for Justinian. His name was Sidas. So
wow,
I love that. Sidas. But that's nothing compared to, and this is actually the name I took for today. Not that anyone could ever see it. I do that just for me. But the guy's name was Chilbudius.
What?
Isn't it the greatest name ever? Yes.
And we thought we got some weird names in Transformers. Jesus.
Oh, no. Nothing compared to Sidas and Chilbudius of the Byzantine Empire. So I've been sharing those nuggets of joy with anyone I can because those just make me laugh.
Oh boy. All right, so where are you at in your Game of Thrones rewatch, man?
All right, so I just hit episode 1, season 7.
Okay.
A lot of interesting stuff happened since even the last time I talked to you guys. So what's her face? Cersei is on the Iron Throne. Tommen kills himself. She blows up the entire castle or the entire church with everyone in it, including her daughter-in-law, which was brutal. So that was the big thing there. I think the only thing I'm going to call bullshit on and this is something I've called bullshit on before, is so Arya Stark, awesome scene with her with the Argus Finch, the guy who killed the Starks at the Red Wedding, where she's like, pretending to be his maid, and then she's like, oh, by the way, bitch, I'm a Stark, and cuts his throat, which was awesome. And I love the idea of what happens next, but I don't really buy it, because what happens next is she puts on the mask of Argus Finch, because that's a big thing for that assassin, like the masks, which I don't buy. There's no, because she sounds just like him. She's just as tall as him. Like it's just a bit too much. But I thought it was cool that she tricked everyone who had a hand in killing her family to kill themselves. That was cool. But the mask thing was a bit ridiculous. And Cersei comes ever closer. Not Cersei. Daenerys comes ever closer to the shore. And I am fully convinced she's going to become the queen and be a terrible, miserable, despotic queen, and I'm here for it.
All right, so you're wow, you're almost there. You're closing in on that final season.
Season 8 is the last season?
I believe so. Yeah.
All right, so I got 2 seasons left.
Okay.
So I'll let you know. And look, I might like the last season. We don't know.
I am fascinated to hear what you think about the last season. Fascinated. So,
yeah, I'm curious too.
I'm just going to continue trying to say stone face on my thoughts on the last season, because I appreciate that going.
We'll talk about it when I get there.
Yes. Mm-hmm. All right. So before we get started into our other stuff, just make sure you can go ahead and send us some stars. It's a digital gift to help us earn money for Pop Culture Pros. So, let's do that, because popculturepros.com is who we're presented by. And come out and let's talk some Flash and Transformers.
Yeah, guys, don't be a sit ass. Be a chill bootiest and send us some love, okay?
All right. Well, let's jump into the Flash, because that's what we do. We got one CW show this week with Superman and Lois and Gotham Knights on hiatus for a random week. So not great. Again, we're not terrible, not the worst, but not great either.
It's here's my whole thought on this. It's like, I don't care. And
yes.
And I'm not being mean. It's just like, okay, so for the third story arc in a row, Barry's being fought by the Speed Force. Okay, yes. Granted, this time it's the negative Speed Force as opposed to the Speed Force in the last season. But it's all the fucking same to me, man. It's all the same shit to me. And this whole bringing Eddie Thawne back and setting him up with a fake life just to get him to be the Avatar seems so forced in just getting this guy back on the show, because we're revisiting the greatest hits, and then him actually accepting it it just didn't make sense. The character takes a complete 180 from the guy who literally sacrificed his own life to save the world to now the guy who's so pissed that he doesn't have his own life, he's going to destroy it's just, I don't care. This is just Flash shit we've been seeing for seasons, and I'm kind of just done with it.
Yeah, it's tough. I said not the worst episode of the season, but not also great. Still feels a little filler-ish until we get to the last episode, which it is kind of wild that actually this Wednesday is the last episode of The Flash. It's actually ending after so long. But it doesn't really bring a lot of new stuff to the table. I have some questions here and some notes quick. So basically the whole thing in this episode, whatever, the short version is the negative Speed Force is still bouncing Barry around time, throws him into 2049, which, seems to be the main spot in the future where everyone seems to like to go. It's very convenient. But why does most of the team except Iris look exactly the same in 2049?
It doesn't make any sense.
It just seems very lazy. Right?
Very, very lazy.
Barry, current 2049 Barry is at the tower, the Watchtower, which we know is the Justice League Watchtower that we're like, wow, wouldn't it be really cool to see that one
We're
day?
not going to see it.
Because you're acknowledging, no, we're not going to see it. There's no chance. But it's annoying. Cecile in the future gets her superhero name of Virtue, and she gets a costume, so she's like officially a superhero now. And her whole thing is she astral projects herself from 2023 to 2049 to help save the day because they can't time travel. And it was very like Days of Future Past, astral projecting, or like that. And there's also a scene that was very Doctor Strange, where you see the physical form and the spiritual form separating. So I don't know, whatever. Not that that can't take place in other stuff, but that's what it kind of seemed like to me. And throughout the episode, the negative Speed Force has the crystal that takes over Nora Allen now in the future and tempts Eddie Thawne with his little life and shows him pictures and stuff of his daughter and kids and Iris, of the life he could have had if he didn't sacrifice himself. But he did. And that's the gist of it. And by the end of the episode, he decides to, hey, I'm going to go ahead and be the Avatar, because that's what the negative Speed Force wants. He wants him to be the Avatar for whatever reason that is, because this Thawne really was always told to us that he didn't matter. He was shit. History forgot about him. So why is he important now?
He was the Thawne that turned his back on like the evil destiny, right? So, but yeah, why is he important now? Because he was in the show once and it's ending, and they want to get the character on one last time. That's why. It's lazy. It's lazy. And before we move on from the whole Cecile thing, I want to point out that Chester gives the worst piece of advice I've ever heard anyone give someone, which is she goes to the future and finds out that she's only been home twice a year to see Jo and her daughter, and she's freaking out, rightfully so. Like, wait a minute, if I don't do something, I'm going to lose my family. Going home twice in a year is not good. Yes, you are, buddy. But she then has that realization, and what's his face goes, no, it's okay. If you don't go home, I'm sure you have a good reason. You and Jo are going to be cool. You're not going to lose your family. It's like, you've seen your daughter twice in 1 year. Fuck you. You've already lost your family. Cecile is right. She needs to change things.
Exactly. And why Chester's completely okay with this is beyond reason. No, it's crap. It's whatever, man. Have we lost all hope? I mean, I know you've been checked out for a bit with this.
I lost all hope on this after the sloppy way they wrapped up. What was it, Red Death?
Yeah.
After the sloppy way they wrapped that up. Like, honestly, had they really given a shit about this season, that crystal would have been at the center of every single fight he had this year. It would have been what turned Batwoman into Red Death, and it wouldn't have been this parallel universe Batwoman. And it would have just kept coming back. And then by this point, we would have been like, oh, okay, it's been trying to find an avatar this whole time. But that's not what we got. We got these weird, disparate episodes that were rushed and one-off and filler. And fucking the guy who plays Barry Allen has to take a vacation, even though he's got 5 episodes left. And so we've got flashless episodes like this. This whole season's been garbage. And it like was unredeemable for me after the wrapping up of the Red Death, because it was just so lazy.
No. That one episode, A New World Part 1, gave me some false hope, I guess, one more time. And
yeah, but again, we had Barry, and we had the best parts of the show, Barry and Jo and Reverse Flash. I mean, that's all you need.
It's true. All right. Well, that's it, man. Like, next week we have episode 13, the last episode of The Flash. So we will be saying farewell to The Flash and the Arrowverse, for that fact, once and for all next week. So
because Gotham Knights is not part of the Arrowverse, and Superman and Lois has divorced itself from the Arrowverse.
Yes, oddly, but officially, yeah, they have, even though they have a Diggle. So, whatever. It's a little odd. All right. Well, with no other shows to cover at the moment, that brings us to our movie of the week, which is 1986's Transformers the movie, And we do have a special guest coming in to join us, gentleman who you've known from Pop Culture Pros a whole bunch of times, and someone who I've seen this movie with multiple times, and we've chatted about it for many years on end, probably since we've known each other. Tim Tabala. Tim, what's up, man? Oh, you can't hear. Okay. We can hear you.
So, as Tim is getting his technical difficulties fixed up.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, these things aren't. I'm not picking up anything through there, so I'll have to go
We're
without.
We're gonna boot you for a second.
All right, I'm here. I'm ready. Let's go.
Oh, you want to do it without him?
I'll do it without him.
Okay. All right.
So-
Jason, go ahead. You had some notes.
I just want to read a list of names because if you ever are in a bar trivia and you hear and the question is, what movie does Eric Idle, Judd Nelson, Leonard Nimoy, Robert Stack, Orson Welles, and Scatman Crothers all have in common? The answer is Transformers, the movie 1986, because all of those people lend their voices to this, and that is insane to me.
There's a lot of crazy things about this movie, but I think, like, man, it is jarring for someone who saw it when they were 6 years old and was a huge Transformers fan going into this, and you got rattled. You saw death and massacring happening for the first time, really. And simply because the story writer was told that we need to wipe out the 85 toy line to bring in the 1986 toy line. And it was like, all right, well, then I guess there's one way to do it. I'm going to kill them all. I mean, I don't know if the Decepticons were on PEDs or something in this movie, because their blast really was a lot more powerful out of nowhere.
Seriously.
But on top of that, like, so Jason, I know you said you didn't really have much of a childhood connection with the Transformers franchise.
Yeah, no, I didn't. It's one of the ones that I didn't watch the cartoon as a kid, although I did see this as a kid.
Okay.
And I didn't really collect the toys. I was like a He-Man, Thundercats guy.
Okay.
And G.I. Joe.
Tim? Yeah.
Yeah, I was a Star Wars G.I. Joe guy, but I had a couple Transformers laying around. I always make the joke that the Transformers were a pain in the ass because, you know, you're Optimus Prime, you're a truck, then you're like, transform. You got to take 15 minutes to. I'm ready. Transform back. Really? So yeah, the toys were kind of a pain in the ass to me, but no, I mean the cartoon I thought was fantastic, especially the first couple seasons were great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, as a kid, I was a huge Transformers fan. I mean, they were one of my Transformers, G.I. Joe, He-Man, like, you know, top three. And then, you know, once I got introduced to like Spider-Man and like, you know, Secret Wars and all of that, they came rushing into. Thundercats I liked, but like we're still kind of like on the outside. It was like these were like the big three. And Optimus Prime, I mean, was like one of my favorite characters, I mean, ever. So hence, when he dies in this movie as a child is when I cried and I was like furious. And I told the story on here. Tim's heard it a bunch of times. So before the movie, they did release some of the toys, and I had Hot Rod, and I'm like, oh wow, he's so cool. And when I got home from seeing the movie in the Ridgewood Theater, for those in Queens, I got home and I threw my fucking Hot Rod out the window, and my father promptly smacked the shit out of me and was like, and told me to go pick it up and everything like that. So, yeah, I want to dive deep into that scene in a few minutes of who and what happened. Where does the blame lie with the death of Optimus Prime? Because it is probably the biggest thing, the most controversial thing in this movie, right?
Yes, it definitely is. And it's a bad idea. And I think everyone says it's a bad idea in retrospect. Like this, watching this was like, I texted Ed, this is for kids. I cannot believe this was for kids. Watching this and just watching the wholesale fucking murder of these heroes that happens, like there are two, like, and some of it, like we're talking about Optimus Prime, and Optimus Prime's a big one, like, you know, and he has the moment. Some of these Transformers don't even get a moment. They're just poof, they're Akbar, they're just dead. Like,
yeah.
There were two of them, I forget which two it was.
Ironhide gets obliterated.
Yes, exactly. But there were two of them flying a jet, and they hit a rock, and then you just know they're dead because someone goes, "Well, they just bit it, sir." It's like, whoa! And literally, they say they just bit it.
Yeah. The main thing gets going though. Like, I mean, whatever. The story of here is, Autobots, Decepticons battling. Decepticons are taking over Cybertron. The Autobots are getting ready to launch an attack, to take back Cybertron. But they have Autobot City on Earth. So they're on, there's a Moon Base 1 and Moon Base 2 where they're going to Prime and trying to get his thing going. But Laserbeak sneaks in and kind of gets the footage and what the planet's going on, goes back to show it to Megatron. And by the way, can I also say, everyone out there, everyone needs a friend like Soundwave. Everyone needs a friend like Soundwave. He's the most loyal on ever. He's the most loyal character maybe to another character I've ever seen in my life. So Laserbeak goes ahead, shows Megatron the plan. They decide, all right, screw it. We're going to go in and preemptively attack the Autobots. They're not going to see us coming. We're going to steal their sheep and go into Autobot City and go ahead and launch that sneak attack. So when Megatron gets going on that fucking ship and destroys Wheeljack and Ironhide and
Cliff Jumper?
Cliff Jumper is he's not there on that one, is he?
Cliff Jumper wasn't there?
I don't think he was. He was on one of the moon bases, with Jazz. Jazz and Cliff Jumper on one of the moon bases. On the other moon base is Bumblebee and Spike.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when we get the get dropped when Unicron is sucking them in. Damn it, I can't remember. There was
Ratchet? Who was
Ratchet was on there. Ratchet does get murdered also. But Ironhide, Megatron puts the cannon right to his fucking face when he's trying to stop him and say no and completely obliterates him. And Megatron hits him with the such heroic nonsense. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching right now?
And the hand comes up the bed just wow.
This was a Transformers snuff film.
Yeah, it was nuts. And then they get to Autobot City, and then then the Decepticons start getting murdered also. Then everyone's is biting it. As I said, but then we get introduced to Hot Rod, and Springer and RC, who, again, there you go. Guess ahead of their time. First, she was the only female Autobot or Transformer I ever remember.
Good point.
And Ultra Magnus and, Perceptor's already there. We get to meet, and Blaster and stuff. So there's a lot of them you knew. But the Insecticons start getting murdered at this point, and they get ran over. The fucking head Hot Rod runs them over as they're getting in. Oh, we meet Cup also and Blur. So a whole new set of 86 Transformers.
Yeah, I remember going to the theater. This is one of the first movies where I snuck away to go alone. It was 5th, 6th grade. My friends were like, we're going to go. I was like, oh, I'm going to go. So we went. Yeah. And I remember thinking, first of all, it was very wow, the Autobots lost? This is a dark way to start.
Yeah.
Then the first thing that really hits you is the soundtrack. You're like, dude, this is awesome. And especially when Megatron hits that ship, you're like, man, this is all instruments of destruction.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, boom, boom, you're like, what? This can't be real, right? This isn't real. And the smoke and the way they turn gray, I was like, what am I watching? I swear to God, I don't know if you ever seen the Goldbergs. I know I posted it a few times. That kid's reaction on the show was my exact reaction. Sitting there talking to the screen going, no. What is, no. This can't be real. What's going on here? But it was a little traumatic, but it was still wow, this is a whole new, this isn't, just like I say, this isn't your daddy's Transformers. This is a new Transformers.
Yeah.
And they're cursing.
Yeah.
They're cursing in this.
I don't know. And then the battle at Autobot City is an incredible scene besides the climax of that. But you get Devastator going in there, you get, all the shit's going down. And then obviously once, that Blaster gets ahead and gets to Prime, once Prime shows up, then shit, people are in fucking trouble now.
Shit gets real.
Shit gets real once Prime shows up. And he sends the Dinobots and they start fucking fighting with Devastator, which is a really cool battle. But then that scene, when Prime gets out of that ship and he's like, Megatron must be stopped no matter the cost. And, the touch kicks in and he transforms, and of course the fucking trailer comes out of nowhere as it always does, and it disappears back to the convenience zone as always. Dude, the Decepticons know that they're fucked, and they start running away and everything. Like, all of them. It's crazy. And they're all shooting at him suddenly. None of it matters. And he blows up out of the fucking thing and he starts killing them. He starts shooting them. The cannon sounds louder than ever, and he's murdering them one by one. And when the whole showdown with Megatron, man, you know, one shall stand and one shall fall. I was just like, dude, he's ready to. He's had enough of your shit. He's ready to die tonight.
He's going to hell tonight.
This was finally too where Megatron wasn't such a puss.
No,
You know, in the regular cartoon, he was kind of, you know, he never really wanted to fight Optimus.
no.
He tried to avoid it at all costs. Now he's just like, we're doing this. This is it. Like, and again, sitting as a kid, you're just like, what am I watching?
They have both had it pretty much. Yeah. It's like, listen, we're done with this. One of us is gonna fucking die.
Yeah. After what you just witnessed, you're like, anything goes.
Yeah.
Anything goes now. And
this is all the first.
Yeah,
this is all the first half an hour. Like,
Yeah.
we're
Yes.
just talking about the first half an hour of this hour and a half movie.
And you think about it now, you're like, oh my God, they have another truck. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, bad news for the old truck if you already got a new truck standing by.
Yeah.
So, but no, back then you didn't think that way. You just thought, wow, Ultramax, that's pretty cool. And once they stopped fighting, it was fantastic. I absolutely was like, finally, we're going to see Megatron versus Optimus really go at it. Because, like I said, in the cartoon, it was, you know, I'll get you, Prime, and they take off, and that was the end of the cartoon.
Mhm.
But now it's just like, yep, shit's getting real.
All right, so we're at the point then. So when they have the fight, and you know they're both landing death blows left and right, and then you know Prime has the pretty much the hand cannon ready to go, and he's gonna go ahead and Megatron is then begging for mercy, but he sees a gun that he's trying to get to, one more blaster, and then fucking Hot Rod comes completely out of left field because I feel like we didn't see him for like 15 minutes before that, and then he jumps in, you know, oh no you don't, Megatron, and Prime's telling him, get out of the way, Hot Rod. Like, I'm gonna kill this guy. I've had enough shit.
I'm about to commit murder. Move.
Yeah, I am gonna blow his fucking head off right now. And you know, Prime doesn't want to kill him. And then, you know, Prime ends up getting shot a bunch of times. And Megatron's going in for the kill. And then, you know, he lands one last blow. Megatron goes flying and stuff like that. And then, you know, Hot Rod's there apologizing and stuff. So what are we, Jason? I'm gonna throw it to you. What are we thinking here? Have I as a child until this day, I fully blame Hot Rod for Prime's death?
Oh fuck yeah!
Okay.
Fuck yeah! Prime was about to gank this guy, and
He's
Hot
gonna end
Rod
the
got
franchise.
exactly. Prime was like, "We're all going to hell tonight, Decepticons. I'm going with you. I don't care, but I'm taking you." And Hot Rod's just like, "No, hey, I'll take care of this." He doesn't even do anything. He doesn't stop Megatron. He just gets in the way.
It's so aggravating. Tim, I'm pretty sure I know where you stand at this point. Fucking Hot Rod.
Yeah. I don't have the hatred for Hot Rod as you do, but yeah, I mean, it was definitely, dude. Prime got this. He wouldn't have fell for the old, you know, secret gun from behind of nowhere, and he wouldn't have fell for that bullshit. Even if he did, he got the cannon ready to go. He was ready just to blow this guy's head off. So yeah, Hot Rod was pretty stupid. And I'm Prime. I'm shooting anyway, just because it's like, you know, I gotta kill this guy now. I gotta kill him now. But Prime is the ultimate good guy. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it was Hot Rod's fault.
It's Hot Rod's fault. I mean, it is what it is. Yes, over time, I have a hatred for Hot Rod, but once Prime came back, yes, spoiler down to I think it was like a year later they brought back Prime, and he was like all white and stuff, and then you know he got his color back. Which the toy of Ultra Magnus, the truck is a all white Optimus Prime. So obviously when he came back in my stories, Ultra Magnus got murdered, never came back, and it was just white Optimus Prime forever, and that was it.
That's awesome.
So it is interesting though to see how they show. And this is where I give this movie a lot of credit for actually, like, let's be honest, the cartoon was half an hour commercials for the toys, essentially.
Yeah, right.
But this movie actually tries to, like, it goes into some shit. And you see the way that the Autobots are reacting to Prime's death and everything, and they're destroyed. They're like, the fans are watching this. And then you get the Decepticon half of this, where of course Starscream walks over immediately and how do you feel, almighty Megatron, and like kicks him and stuff. And he's just like seizing the opportunity, gets Astro Train, which we'll get to his weird thing in a second. It's odd.
He throws Megatron out of the ship.
Yes,
still alive.
Out of Astro Train.
Dumps him.
Yeah, but it's just crazy. But then when Megatron is there dying in his last breath, don't leave me, Soundwave. And of course, all as you command, Megatron, and him and his tapes, they're fucking cool. Like Soundwave has always been my favorite Decepticon. His whole thing.
Me too.
Yeah, I know, Tim. You're right there with me. We love Soundwave. They all get his stuff, his cannon and everything, and they're helping him out. So they get into Astro Train. What's the deal with fucking Astro Train, by the way, with the size and stuff? Like, how does Devastator form inside of Astro Train? And there's this whole battle going on, but yet Devastator was big enough to take down Autobot City just like a scene ago.
Yeah,
you have to. That's the part you have to disbelief and never happened. Don't worry about it.
Just like Megatron transforms into the gun all the time, and then starts
into a tiny gun.
Yeah.
He transforms to a tiny gun. You gotta let it go, man. Let it go.
It's just weird. I don't know. Who cares? But it's just weird. Because I remember Astro Train, the toy, was like not very big either. And then you're like, go look, watching the movie, and I'm like, wait, what? How? Devastator's like this? What the fuck is going on?
Questions.
No,
hand waving.
This is too much.
Yeah.
6-year-old Ed was asking the same questions, though. By the way, just for the thing.
Oh, I remember asking that too. Like, dude, how are they inside this guy?
Yeah, it was weird. And then we get a heartbreaking scene where Prime is literally on his deathbed, and you see his vitals and stuff. And then we get to see the Matrix of Leadership, passed on and stuff. And he gives the speech, and he passes it on to. And it's funny because like this time around, I'm rewatching this again yesterday. The way he tells Ultra Magnus is kind of like, yeah, you're kind of like the guy who's here at the moment. So just take the Matrix for now until somebody will rise from our ranks. The proper leader of the Autobots will be here eventually. That's the way I took it. Yeah, it's not you. But do me a favor and hold this thing down because I'm about to fucking die. And when that guy shows up, he'll know what to do.
Now, when you guys saw this younger, did you see? I thought when he dropped the Matrix and Hot Rod grabbed it, that kind of is what made him the leader. At first, that's what I really thought. I was like, this dick stole the leadership now from Ultra Magnus. First he kills Optimus, and now he steals the thunder from Ultra Magnus. Because that's what I thought at first. But then you realize later on, no, it's not. It was always supposed to be Hot Rod who became, Rodimus Prime and all that stuff.
Hot Rod's the real villain. Hot Rod, he did all of this just to become the head of the Transformers.
Fucking Judd Nelson.
Fucking power grab. By the way, the second Judd Nelson movie we're covering on Granny's PhD, because the first one was Steel.
Yes, it was. Wow. Yes, it was. The classic.
So yeah, then we kind of get the whole chase down. The Autobots are getting their shit together. The Decepticons, then you get them floating in space, as Jason mentioned. Starscream and them, they pretty much have a battle between the haves and have-nots, and a bunch of them get thrown off. You hear them like screaming for their lives, like no, and they get fucking pushed off.
It's harrowing.
It's nuts. And then they get found by Unicron, who we find out is the real big bad of this movie, because you do see him in the opening scene munching on a planet and stuff and destroying that. But now, like, he finds the Decepticons and he's like, I need you to destroy the Matrix. Which I never thought about this that deeply before until yesterday. We never get an explanation of the connection between the Matrix and Unicron in this movie, besides they look similar. It's just like, I don't like the Matrix. It's my weakness. Somebody needs to destroy it. That's why I can't. I can't just eat the planet that the Matrix is on and end it. So it's there.
Well, it's like Galactus and the Ultimate Nullifier, right? Like, he can't eat the Earth because the Ultimate Nullifier is on the planet, so he needs the Silver Surfer to go and remove I don't know. This thing just reminds me a lot of Galactus and Ego if they were the same character.
No, for sure. And pretty much Unicron reboots the Decepticons because he goes and makes Megatron Galvatron.
Still, one of my favorite scenes ever in a movie. That was one of my favorite scenes.
When he changes them over?
Yes.
Okay, no, it does look really cool.
Because that was way beyond like its time, I think,
Oh,
as
yeah.
far as graphics and stuff, and it just looks so damn cool.
No, it really does, and he makes the the Scourge, the Tracker, and the sweeps and all of them, and Megatron to Galvatron, which Michael Bay in his movies clearly was reading the back of the book, the back of the fucking box, and didn't know what the hell was what. So then we get the coronation scene, which is one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie, when Starscream has on Cybertron is putting on a crown and a cape, and he's having a ceremony. He's now the leader of the Decepticons. So Galvatron shows up and incinerates him.
Yes.
And he's just like, he's like, he says something along the lines of like, this is bad comedy, Starscream. And he's like, Megatron, is that you? Here's a hint. And he transforms into this fucking cannon, and one shot disintegrates him into just feet. And of course, has a dad joke of, would anyone like to fill his shoes?
Yeah.
And they're all just like, hey, what did he say his name was? Galvatron. And
all hell Galvatron.
What did you say his name was? Yeah, one of the Soundwaves guys.
Don't murder us. And that's when Leonard Nimoy gets into the movie, because now he's voicing Galvatron, which is wild to think that Spock is the voice of one of the villains in this movie.
Right? That's the thing. Voice acting is crazy. Spock is in this. The fact that Orson Welles, the fucking director of Citizen Kane, is Unicron, and this is his last movie.
It is. It is. And a planet-eating like monster. Because what was he? What did they say he was? He was like over six. Was he 6'5" or something? Orson Welles, he was huge.
Yeah, he was a huge man, and in the end, he had gotten very big as well.
Yeah, he did. So
he's a method actor. He wanted to be Unicron. He was method actor.
I've been eating planets for the past 30 years to live up to this role.
That's it.
Unicron.
That's how he was.
He does have such the perfect voice for Unicron, though.
He does.
It's pretty intimidating.
It's fantastic. At the end, when he becomes like the Transformer himself, it's like, wow.
I like when you first see them floating and you hear him like whisper, Megatron. And then as they get closer, he says it louder, Megatron. It's like, dude, I'm fucking talking to you. Get up. That's awesome.
I don't care that you're dying right now. Just wake the fuck up.
Yeah, wake up, asshole. I'm talking to you.
But then the new Decepticon group goes to, Autobot City to hunt down Decepticons, because they know that Unicron knows everything, man. He knows that the Matrix, he knows what planet it's on at all times. Go ahead, track it down. And then the team splits up, and we get Hot Rod and Cup go with the Dinobots. They end up on the planet with the Shockticons, and we get to go ahead and go ahead.
That fucking scene, with the Shockticons is insane. Everything about that is insane. And it has my favorite moment of the entire movie, which is when the Shockticons are about to attack, and Grimlock goes, this is what I texted you, that Grimlock's the man. Grimlock is like, you could attack me, but I am king. I am stronger. You should attack them. And they just go, makes sense to me. And they fucking surf Grimlock.
Grimlock has a lot of scenes that he steals with that. The couple of times he mentions he is king, and when he goes, "Me, Grimlock, kick butt," and literally kicks Unicron's butt.
I was thinking too, like we're in the meeting where they're like, all right, look, we're gonna kill all these guys, but don't touch the Dinobots.
No.
So the Dinobots are untouchable because they all survive, and they all have a major part of the movie. So it's like you can kill anyone but a Dinobot.
They're not selling that well. So if we actually make them the star of this, they'll sell well. Keep them alive.
Yeah.
Well, they also do choose random G1 guys. Like Bumblebee survives, Cliffjumper survives, Jazz, Perceptor, and Blaster. They're the only Autobots that survive. Everyone else gets wiped out. Which is just kind of random that they chose those random dudes. Because, later on, Bumblebee becomes Goldbug around the time when Optimus Prime gets brought back to life, because they had to rebrand him, of course.
Which was terrible.
Yeah, it's so stupid. It was so shit. But then the Planet of Junk, which I know Jason loves also, because we get a Weird Al Yankovic song that gets
There's just a weird dance interlude, Dare to Be Stupid, and they were
Yeah.
all fucking dancing. I was like, what am I watching?
Jason, I think you were dancing in your living room when that happened. I think you kind of got caught the bug and you were like, listen, I'm in.
Like, honestly, that's not true. I was dancing at the computer in my bedroom because that's where I watched this movie.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
You know, they had to calm you down after all the murder.
It's
There was a lot of murder. At this
We're
point.
gonna put a nice dance scene here because of all the murder that just happened in the first hour.
But I guess that's what makes it even weirder for me, because this is coming off the heels of the scene we're just talking about, where literally innocent robots are being thrown to the Sharktacons, whatever.
Yeah.
By the was it Omicron, who is the four-headed judge?
No, those are the Quintessons.
Oh, the Quintessons. And they're like, it's like, we proclaim you innocent. Ha ha ha. Whew, death. And it's like, so it's all this death concentrated even in that scene. And then it's Dare to Be Stupid. It's like, wait, what's going on? What am I watching?
Oh, but hold on, but Jason, you forgot one more massacre, because when they first land on the planet of junk, the Decepticons do track them down, which they have to fake their own deaths to get away from them.
That's right.
And then Galvatron and the Scourge and all of them, they go ahead and destroy, and Cyclonus, they destroy and they kill Ultra Magnus and take the damn Matrix of leadership.
That's right. I forgot about that happened. You do.
Because I also want to point out how much of a shitty leader Ultra Magnus is, because how does he get in his first fucking shit and already is trying to open up the Matrix immediately? Prime never did that shit ever.
No.
He never tried to get to the get out of jail free card by opening up the Matrix of leadership. And
Not
he's like,
even on
oh,
his
it'll light up
deathbed.
darkest hour. No.
That's true.
I was like, come on, Ultra Magnus, puss, man. Like, come on, just cut this
He
shit.
looked cool, but he just wasn't cool.
He looked really cool. He's fucking Robert Stack also. Come on.
Yeah.
And how about Galvatron rocking that shit like a fucking medallion?
Yes.
Throwing around
He-
his neck.
Oh yeah, he was like Flava Flav.
Yeah, he's rocking it because he's like gonna show it off to Unicron. He's like, "Fuck this! You can't tell me what to do anymore," and he still can.
Yeah.
So,
'cause-
but yeah, the Juncticons, they go ahead and they put together Ultra Magnus and they save his life. It also made me think too, like, so did the Autobots not say, "Let's go get Prime's body and bring him here, and maybe they can revive him"? Nah, we're good.
Well, he didn't turn gray.
Oh, that's what it is. So the turning gray is that seals the deal.
I guess turning gray was like your life force is gone. Ultra Magnus just got ripped to pieces, so maybe he was, we could put him back together again.
Yeah, it's true. All right, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sense of it.
Tim, you're right though. There's no gray. Like when we say we didn't see a body, if the
That's right.
character's actually dead, they didn't turn gray, so that Transformer could be revived.
I do want to point out the implication of this movie, that every single alien life form outside of Earth are some form of cons, like some form of robots.
Yes.
Like every single planet is a planet of fucking transforming robots, except for Earth. How did we lose the genetic lottery of being like squishy flesh bags in a universe of transforming robots?
I don't know, man, but they tried to help us out because Spike and Daniel do get their fucking suits.
They do.
And I'm gonna be honest, as a kid, I was like, "Oh my god, it's the coolest thing ever! I want a
Yes.
fucking suit that I can transform in."
Especially
That and a
when
hoverboard.
he transforms for the first time, you're like, no fucking way.
Yeah, you're like, "Oh
Please
my
make
god!"
those.
I'm telling you, that and a hoverboard from Back to the Future too. Those are the two things you wanted as a kid. Ultimately,
I'm still waiting on my hoverboard.
Yeah, so then that kind of essentially. Oh, but let's not gloss over though. When they go to the Sharktacons and the Quintessons, how they go ahead and they get the Sharktacons to chill out. Ba Weep, Grana Weep, Ninibon, and they give them these Energon treats, which
Yes.
Tim is using for his name. You can't see it right now, but Ba Weep, Grana Weep, Ninibon, Burr. That needs to be on a shirt.
It's my
We
name. by the
need
way.
a shirt now. Yes,
It's
exactly.
my name if you take the title away.
Tim, would you say this is probably one of the best quotes of the movie? Like the most quoted things is "Ba Weep,
Oh,
Grana
God.
Weep, Ninibon"?
It's one of those things where you hear it once and you're like, nope, I remember it forever.
Yes.
Here it is 40 years later. I know exactly what it is, where it came from, how it was said. You never forgot it. You heard it once, you walked to the theater going, Bobby Grana Weep, Ninibon, man. See you later. How it was. Absolutely. It does belong on a shirt. It does belong on a shirt, definitely.
It does. I'm gonna have to talk to Burr about that one. We'll have to get that to happen. And then we get right into the final battle because Unicron has pretty much had enough. He transforms into his robot form. He's going at and there's the big battle. He's
Wait, how did you guys feel about? Well, there's two other characters that are kind of a little controversial. Wheelie being one,
yes,
and the Junkticons. I like the Junkticons. I like the way they talk. That was Eric Idle coming into his stuff.
I
like
actually
the
love.
Junkticons. I love the way they talk. I thought it was great. Wheelie
talk TV.
I love that.
Wheelie was but I love I love the way Junkticons talked.
I love the Junkticons.
He talk TV.
Yeah,
He talks on TV.
Like, act now, and we'll have. Like he says something like that at some point. Like he's just quoting commercials. It's brilliant.
Yeah. When you learn to talk, we talk TV. He's like, oh, that's pretty cool. Everyone can relate to that. So,
And
I
Cup,
kind of like them.
and Cup also talks on TV.
Yes, Cup also talks some TV. That's the way it's funny.
Yeah, I thought Wheelie was annoying as shit.
Willie was annoying. Willie was for the little kids, I think, because he was just like, really?
Yes, because in the Transformers the movie, after you've had massacres and death left and right, you need to throw something in for the kids. So you could throw Wheelie in.
All those kids that are scarred for life who managed to stay in the theater.
Yeah, the kids who still aren't crying yet, or who have stopped crying, and they could resume watching the movie.
Sorry, before we get to the final battle, though, we do get when Unicron eats Moonbase 1 and Moonbase 2, and then we get Spike dropping the oh shit once they drop a bomb into Unicron and doesn't do shit, and that's when you hear the off-camera oh shit. And as a kid, I'm like, oh, did he say that? Did he say he said the word? Oh my god!
I remember that was punishment too, because remember Megatron tried to use the Matrix.
Yeah,
he's like, dude, you do that to me? Guess what? I'm gonna eat your planet now.
Yeah,
he ends up eating the moon bases first. So
I'm gonna eat the moon bases. I'm eating Cybertron. You're all fucked because at the end of the movie, they're trying to. The Decepticons and the Autobots essentially have to team up to battle Unicron to save their home planet of Cybertron. And that's when we get me, Grimlock, kick butt, and there's that whole thing where he literally goes and kicks Unicron in the ass, and Unicron is reaching around trying to smack his own ass. It gets a little odd, and I guess most of the things that Unicron eats don't actually die, because inside Unicron, there's a whole final battle that takes place. And we see other characters that he ate on the moon bases that are still alive there.
Maybe it's like the Sarlacc pit. You get digested slowly for over 1,000 years, or
I guess
those things grab you and convert you to energy when they drop you in the lava, the acid, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Or it's like the whale in Pinocchio, where you get swallowed whole and then you just live the rest of your life out in, I don't know, a hut within the whale.
Yeah. And we get the final battle between Hot Rod and Galvatron, which Hot Rod ends up getting the Matrix of Leadership and opens it up and hits puberty, as I always like to say, because he starts growing. His voice gets deeper suddenly, and he becomes Rodimus Prime, and he gets a random trailer of his own that shows up out of nowhere.
Hair starts growing where it wasn't there before.
Yeah, like I even think he has something that looks like a little bit of a beard that goes on there. It's interesting.
Maybe the trailer is a euphemism for your private part.
Yeah, maybe it's like oh shit. Hey now,
you got yourself a big one now, my friend.
Dude, he takes Galvatron and throws him out the fucking basically out a window, and he's just gone.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
Out his eye.
Yeah,
I actually really like how he opens it because it's not purposeful. Like it's like he's fighting with Galvatron, and Galvatron is about to kill him, and they're wrestling for it, and it kind of just comes open, and then he starts wrecking shop on him, and I like that because we're talking about before with the other one who tries to open it like right away, like I'm heading out, let's just get this open. And he wasn't trying to open it. He was trying to protect himself and protect this thing and just get it back. And he opens it accidentally and becomes the hero. I like that. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I'll even admit, the Rodimus Prime in this movie, that part was kind of cool. It's just in the series after this, he's a little bit of a whiny little bitch because he's just crying about how he's just crying every episode about how he's not Optimus. I'm like, dude, we all know. We know that. So. Yeah,
it's like Rodimus, we're also as 6-year-olds crying that you're not Optimus. Can you stop reminding us and do something cool, please?
Yes, like do that. And of course, when he gets to tell the Autobots, Autobots transform and roll out, he's like, oh, he said the thing, and then they're all like, all right, cool, let's go. We transform. And then they go fucking driving right out of Unicron's eye. And just the movie ends very abruptly, where they're just like on Cybertron, everyone's cool, till all are one. And we get that whole line. And then the movie's over.
Yeah, it does just end with a smash cut. Like,
yes.
Cue the music. Let's watch a head float around. Done. Yes. Get out.
Movie's over. End of story. There's no post-credit scenes. Won't come around for like another 30 years. So get out of here. The movie still holds up for me. I mean, I still think it's pretty awesome. It is weird, like you said. I don't know. As an adult, you're like, man, this is badass. Like, you're not getting the crying moments, even though the Prime death is sad. It is wild, but it holds up. I would stand by that. This is very much probably the best Transformers movie to date. I mean, next week's we'll give it a run for its money because Bumblebee was really good, and we'll see. But like, this is better than the Bayformers movies. I'm sorry, like, I don't even think it's close.
No, me neither.
Any of them. Jason,
I like the original one, but the other ones bring that one down so bad.
Yes.
That it's like, oh, really?
Yeah. But you would say this is still better than the first
absolutely.
Bayformers movie.
Absolutely,
Sure.
by far.
Yeah. Even without the nostalgia glasses.
Yeah, this is by far my favorite Transformers movie.
Yeah.
Always will be, too.
Say
yeah.
Hi.
Hey, what's up?
Say hi, Daddy Show. So, I would definitely say that this is the best of them that I've seen. This is way better than the Bay ones. Good night, buddy. I love you. This is way better than the Bay ones. And I'm speaking without the nostalgia that you guys have, because I saw this as a kid, but I was more as a kid like, what the fuck was that? They just killed everyone. And I remember I think I did a double feature of this and the G.I. Joe movie, because they came out at around the same time. And I actually remember liking this more because I'm like, this had balls. This killed everyone. No one died in the G.I. Joe movie. Looking back on it now, I think it definitely still holds up. It's a time capsule. I was texting Ed yesterday. Like, if aliens came to the planet and said, all right, in order to save the entire universe, we need an hour and a half of footage to make us understand what it was like to live in America in 1986, I would just give them a copy of this DVD, and then I'd go home and I'd know that I've saved the universe, because this is so 80s. The music, the fact that as a children's cartoon, we've decided what we wanted to do this whole time and couldn't because of the censors was curse and murder. Like, it's such an 80s thing. This could never exist today.
No,
ever in a
no
million
chance.
years.
There's no chance.
The soundtrack alone is one of the best of all time. It really is. It's not even, it's not from just some movie nostalgia. It's from just an 80s metal fucking, like, this is a great soundtrack. Like, no matter what you listen, even for the opening song, like I said, the opening song is you see Unicron pop out. You hear the dun 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 dun, his little theme music he got going on. Eats a planet. You're like, what just happened? And then it's like, wow, this is fucking metal, dude. I love it. And then you got Weird Al on there. You got the Touch, and of course, don't forget Vince DiCola's Optimus Prime Dies music, which is just heartbreaking in itself. I think I want that played at my funeral. I think I want Optimus Prime, and then The Door is the end. I want to play at my funeral, nice. And then that's it. I'm good to go. So yeah, this movie holds up so well. I told Jackson, you're not going to get a better Transformers movie than this ever. There you go.
You mean this?
That's it.
Dude, Vince DiCola, by the way, was the fucking man of soundtracks in the 80s, man.
I'm going to be lowered into the grave like that.
Yeah.
Vince DiCola and Stan Bush can't be stopped.
No. Dude, this whole thing, the soundtrack of this movie is its own character.
Yeah,
honestly,
like absolutely. It's
nuts.
Guy 1986. That's what the character's name is, Guy 1986. Because it's so fucking 80s. Like, it's awesome. And it was especially awesome in the 80s when we were watching it, because this was the music. But watching it yesterday, I told Ed, I can't take this seriously because it's just so 80s. Like, it's such a time capsule.
Yeah, you're right though. But it's got, by the way, note that was there. I have the 30th anniversary edition of the Blu-ray, and it seems like every 5 to 10 years they come out with another anniversary edition of this. Tim, I think we saw the 30th anniversary, right? Or 35th anniversary? I don't know.
We went to the theater and saw it.
I feel like we've seen a couple of anniversary editions of this. And they do mention that Stan Bush says that The Touch was written for Cobra.
Yeah, I think something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. He said it because I rewatched the documentary yesterday that's on the Blu-ray. He says it was written for Cobra. And all of a sudden, like the studio just randomly put it. He's like, wait, that cartoon movie about the transforming robots? Okay, sure. I can't picture The Touch in Cobra at all.
No,
where would that have fit?
That wouldn't have fit at all, unless it was the ending.
Here he is, of course. The majestic Burr. Yes, Burr loves Transformers and loves Transformers the movie as well. Burr.
Now he's Cobra lying us, though.
Wow, what is going on here? Burr, if you tuned in later, we need a Ba Weep, Grana Weep, Nitty Bon t-shirt. We need to get on this. So we'll talk about that off the air. Yeah, dude, the soundtrack of this is bonkers. I mean, from anything. But Vince DiCola is all over it. He did, if you're familiar with Rocky IV, he has a lot of Rocky IV. And apparently the producers of this movie went to him and they loved his work on Rocky IV, that they're like, listen, this is what we want for Transformers the movie. And he's like, sure. Okay, you got it. You can hear the stuff and you can see some Rocky IV in it. That was in there. Even he did his own version of the Transformers theme, which is only on the soundtrack. Wait, I'll play it in a second. Here we go. It's like from the Autobot Decepticon battle.
Mm-hmm. I have this on my. I have the soundtrack. I listen to it all the time.
No, I told Jason the same thing. I've always had this on my iPod or iPhone. It's not as good as the one.
I just think around this time, Stan Bush had this. He had Fight to Survive in Bloodsport, which is an awesome song. He had the Kickboxer song also. He seemed to do Van Damme a lot.
Yes.
But he did a lot of great songs.
In the 80s, if you needed an inspirational song for your soundtrack, Stan Bush was your fucking guy. That was the guy to call.
It's true.
And also Dare. Dare's another awesome song on the soundtrack.
Yep.
That Stan Bush does. Yeah, which gets used twice in this movie. This and The Touch. Both get their two big moments.
There are so many songs in this movie that are played from start to finish that it really does feel like it's a movie that's broken up with music videos.
See, Burr knows it too. He all he has to do is hear it. If you're our age and you love this shit, instantly you get that feeling. In the beginning with Hot Rod was riding with Daniel.
And then all hell breaks loose again.
Yes, then everyone dies again.
Everyone just died. This song comes on, you're supposed to be all cheerful, and then a lot more people die.
This is the other one that's really good. Spectre General. The song is called Hunger. It's a badass one. So what the flash
There's a shark that came out of one, right?
Yeah. When Cup and Hot Rod are going around the bottom and they make a fucking whirlpool thing over there. It's pretty cool. And the ultimate song, Death of Optimus Prime is the ultimate song of death, but then there's Instruments of Destruction by NRG. That's when friggin' Ironhide gets completely decapitated and obliterated too. Oh wow. It is something.
Ed, I said this to you, I texted this to you. With this soundtrack and the style of animation, this really reminds me of the movie Heavy Metal.
Yes. Oh, this is Burr's favorite song on it. Yeah, actually, you mentioned Heavy Metal. Burr, I had mentioned to Jason that you put me on to Heavy Metal when we had met in IAT. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of similarities between the two.
Heavy Metal was a great movie,
All right, Burr's getting out of control.
especially as a kid.
He's really reliving it. That's great. So yeah, that's it is one of the best, I think, 80s movie soundtracks that there are. I mean, you got to put it up there with, like, I don't know, I'll probably throw up Rocky 4 is another one who's like
Top Gun, even Iron Eagle. The poor man's Top Gun has a phenomenal fucking soundtrack.
It does.
Yes.
Johnny Lawrence, big fan of Iron Eagle as well.
Yes.
As we found that in Cobra Kai.
Iron Eagle, yeah, that's a great soundtrack too. There's so many of those good ones out there.
Yeah.
I miss the 80s, man. I miss them.
It's a wild time.
Just throw on Transformers the movie, and you will be right back in the 80s in a heartbeat. Trust me.
Yeah. I'm trying to get Steven to do I want to do a 1984 show, just about 1984. You see how much ridiculous shit came out in that 1 year? You're like, this is the greatest year ever in the history of pop culture, 1984. So I'm trying to do that.
Burr's reeling off the greats now. Yeah, Kroll, Fire and Ice.
Slow down, man. Kroll, I don't know.
Liam Neeson's in Kroll.
Yes. Before he was old man kills everybody, Liam Neeson.
That's right. That's right. Even before he was a Nazi.
It's true, which is important. A lot of people forget about that because he became a hero for such a long time now.
You know what amazes me is, like, he got famous doing Schindler's List, playing like the ultimate villain, and now his entire career is being the older good guy who just fucking ganks people and rescues people. And I love that. I love it.
I'm all for it. Me and Angie at the theater every time one of those fucking movies comes out now.
They're a lot of fun.
I still wonder this very day though. How did Starscream win that battle royal?
Oh,
how did Soundwave not win that battle royal? Because he had Laserbeak and Ravage and Rumble, all those guys with him.
Mm-hmm.
How did he lose? How did Soundwave lose that
battle royal? Because Soundwave doesn't want to be the leader of the Decepticons. He's like just that guy who's like, listen, man, I got my crew. I know what I can do. I'm just a soldier, man. That's it. I'm just here to do what I got to do.
I would say he is the MVP of the Decepticons.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. I agree. No.
Because he has Laserbeak. Yeah. Laserbeak does everything. Dude, Laserbeak is fucking... something has to be done. Laserbeak, send him.
Yeah.
You got to go spy, send Laserbeak.
I like Rumble also.
Yeah, we want fucking, Chinese food. Go send Laserbeak. He'll go get it. Just fucking send him. He does whatever you want to do.
Oh man, that's great. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just this movie still holds up. I mean, so much for me today, and that's it.
It is. Like I said, the cast alone, you're like, dude, you're not going to get that.
No.
Classically trained Robert Stack and Orson Welles and Leonard Nimoy. You ain't getting shit like that anymore.
Yeah, and also in that documentary I was talking about, if you have the Blu-ray, and at least again the 30th anniversary one has it. The cast does talk about how like the stars came in and like Orson Welles like of course came in and didn't want to be bothered by anyone and just kind of like recorded his shit and got out. Apparently Robert Stack was the one who was really wanted to know much more about Ultra Magnus because he was like, I just want to make sure I get this right because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Which I thought was phenomenal. I also pictured him walking into the studio kind of like he does in the airport, and this, the Jesus people are coming at him and knocking him out.
I picture him walking in saying, "We have no idea where this guy is." Unsolved Mysteries music kicks in.
Taking off the glasses, one after another.
Why can I not open the Matrix of Leadership? We don't know.
Oh man. All right. Well, Jason.
So, if this were cast today, who do you think? Like, if this were cast today, who do you think they would get to star? So, Chris Pratt obviously would be Optimus Prime, right? Because Chris Pratt has to voice everything.
No.
So
Peter Cullen.
Who would The Rock?
Peter Cullen still voices Optimus Prime. No, Peter Cullen still voices Optimus Prime.
Okay.
Somehow, some way.
They're going to do Peter Cullen. They're going to steal his voice for eternity. No one's ever going to be Optimus Prime other than Peter Cullen.
It's amazing. It's amazing that it's still going on, but I love it. No, Chris Pratt would be Hot Rod, 100%.
Now,
You're
so
right.
who
Chris Pratt would be Hot
would
Rod. Who would The Rock play?
The Rock.
I wouldn't cast The Rock in this one.
Oh no, but I mean I know why Jason's going with
he'd
The
be
Rock.
You
Cup,
wouldn't,
if
but you
anything.
know the studio would.
He'd be Cup. I'd make him Cup.
You think so? I thought he'd be Springer.
It could be Springer.
See, I don't think
Let's see.
that's not the Rock
Liam
contract's
Neeson.
anything.
Liam Neeson would be Cup. Liam Neeson would absolutely be Cup. I can see that.
Oh, they've taken Galvatron. They've taken Optimus. Gotta go get him.
Oh, let's see. Who else?
It would be Unicron. You'd have to have your classically trained. Who's your classically trained guy still going today?
Oh, Patrick Stewart. You get Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen to be Unicron,
Interesting.
Ian McKellen, I could probably see.
and that's a
I
legacy.
like that. Yeah, I like that. Just trying to think of the stars in this movie. Who would have been what? Well, Vin Diesel would probably be Grimlock. Vin
makes
Diesel would definitely,
It makes
Yes.
sense.
yes, and just me, Grimlock, blank, and that's it.
No, but that's too much for him, though.
Yeah.
Burr likes it.
I am
Burr,
Groot.
by the way,
I am Groot's perfect.
Yeah.
You can't. Me, Grimlock is still too much.
Burr, I told your story on our last episode. No, when we did Guardians of the Galaxy of you meeting Vin Diesel in GameStop many years ago. I made sure I got that story out there for you, man. Yeah, Vin Diesel has to be Grimlock. And who else? Oh, who would be Galvatron? Because Leonard Nimoy had the voice at the time, so we'd have to go with Star for that.
I don't know, like Jack someone like who's
I don't know.
who's a star that does like villains now? Like
Yes.
Oh shit! You know who could be? Damn it! Who was in the Matrix? The fucking
Oh, Mr. Smith talking about
Agent Smith. Yeah,
Agent Smith.
Oh.
Yeah.
Miss-
Hugo Weaving.
Hugo
Yeah.
Weaving. He would absolutely be Galvatron.
Hugo Weaving.
Yes. Lord of the Rings elf. First guess along with me, dude. We're on the same page right now. Yeah, Hugo Weaving would absolutely be Galvatron. Hugo Weaving was Megatron in the first Transformers movie, which
Yep.
I didn't even
Was he
realize
really?
right now. That's probably why it was in the back of my mind. Yeah, but then after that, he was like, "Oh, I'm done with this stuff. I'm not doing."
Yeah, because
these."
between that and others, I'm not doing these big franchise shit anymore.
yeah,
Dude, shut up. Just shut
I
up.
don't know one thing he's done since then.
Yeah, nothing. He's done nothing since then.
Listen, don't fight the hand
Actually, you
that
know what?
feeds
I'll
you.
tell you what he's done. He's been cashing his checks from being in 3 huge fucking franchises. He doesn't
Yeah.
have to. He's in checks. He's like,
Sure.
what check is this from? Is this check from Lord of the Rings? Is it from Transformers? What is this check from?
ScarJo. She would be RC.
Okay.
She's in a bunch of animated stuff. She's always who they go to. I think she would be
Okay.
RC in the new ones. Even though I don't know
I
who
can see that.
Well, in Transformers: Rise of the Beast that comes out in a few weeks, RC and Unicron are actually in that movie. This was their introduction in
Are they?
the animated version. Yeah, Unicron is in Transformers: Rise of the Beast. That's also one of the reasons we had to cover this now because it's the
Oh.
introduction to the character.
And that's
Okay,
the
that's
reason why
interesting.
I'm mainly super excited because he looks fantastic.
Yes. I sent Burr this trailer and he was beyond hyped. He loves Unicron. Yes, they're going
wanna
full,
see-
they're
I
going
wanna
full
see him.
Unicron now.
I want to see him
I'm-
transform.
Now I know. I didn't know Unicron was in this. Now I'm kind of excited to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that Unicron is in this and he actually, he looks like Unicron. If you watch the trailer, now that you've seen the animated movie again, you got it refreshed. You watch the trailer again, you're like, holy shit, that's fucking Unicron, like for real. Not Earth is Unicron. What are we talking about?
It's a big cloud of gas.
Wait,
it's
did they pull that
No,
shit?
it's not, idiot. That's a cloud of gas.
Oh, Jason, don't worry about it. When we get to Tim told me about it. And I think it's the 5th Bayformers movie. They pull some stunt like, oh, Earth is really Unicron. I was like, no, this is nope.
I don't remember. I was so traumatized by the end of those movies. I was like, I could. First of all, I don't know which one's which anymore. And then it's just like I get so distracted by, hey, we're going to bring Kelsey Grammer in. Oh, awesome. Yeah, he's a villain. He's like a Decepticon. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Stop with this bullshit already. I couldn't. I started losing. The Galvatron's a fucking Corvette or something. I'm like, please shoot me in the face. Please. I can't do these movies anymore.
So next month, Jason and I will be going down that dark rabbit hole.
And you can blame those movies for my Mark Wahlberg hatred. Well, not hatred.
Yes.
He's just not like those are the ones that really made me realize, like, wow, he's fucking terrible as an actor. He's a good movie star, but he's not a good actor. And that was a movie that really made me like, dude, this guy sucks.
I agree. I had The Happening did that.
Well, I didn't see that. That I wouldn't watch that. So that made it even worse. But yeah, no, this is the movie. It's like, dude, Mark Wahlberg, you can do a lot of things, but smart is not one of them. So let's not make you a scientist ever again.
Bro, I'm Dr. Wahlberg. Say hello to your mother for me, bro. Yo, how's it go, dude?
You don't buy anything he says.
So, any closing thoughts on Transformers movie before we wrap this up? We're good. I think we've recasted for the 2023 Transformers the movie, even though we've established this exact movie would never ever happen in 2023 because there's no fucking chance.
It's not in America. Maybe in Japan it would happen, not here.
That's true.
Japan don't give a fuck. They'll kill everybody. They don't care. But
yeah, that's a good point.
In America, they're like, nah, we can't kill these.
And there'd be much more graphic sex if it were in Japan.
I'd love to see like a My Little Ponies fucking snuff film. That'd be awesome.
Them just murdering and that's it.
Ponies murdering each other.
All right. Well, that does wrap it up. And we're going to have an exit music tonight because the soundtrack has just lends itself to it. So we're going to inspire you on the way out of here. Even though it also...
And one shall fall.
Even though it does make me also think of Boogie Nights, if I'm going to be honest.
It does.
Mark Wahlberg, mentioned now, and now we get this. Yeah, that's
you see, I picture John C. Reilly dancing in my head.
Yeah, he's like... so thanks for joining us as always. If you've joined us on Facebook, make sure to check out Brady's Speech Soup Facebook group. A lot of trailers and stories that don't make the show every week, so check that out. Check out Pop Culture Bros. Check out popculturebros.com. That's where we're represented. If you're checking us out on YouTube, subscribe to Pop Culture Bros. And Twitter, follow at Pop Culture Bros. A lot of cool stuff on the network. Tim, you got Justin Sweet Show if you're into wrestling. You got A to Z Show. Unsportsmanlike Conduct. You can see Tim on there, along with Farachi. Jason, you're into James Bond. You got Double O Deep Dive. They'll be continuing their quest. And Inspired Quest by the Toss as they finish up the James Bond franchise. And Jason and I will be back next week on another episode of Greatest PhD, starting with the latest episodes, the final episode of The Flash, latest episodes of Superman and Lois and Gotham Knights. And we will be talking about our first live-action Transformers movie in Bumblebee. So that leads up to Transformers Rise of the Beast. So be sure to check us out next week. And get that inspiration going, baby. Stan Bush, let's go.